Good morning students. Today we are going to see Unit 17 Reproduction in Plants and Animals. Last video we saw the same topic in the Reproduction in Human. Today menstrual cycle, process of ovulation. Next fertilization to fetal development. Let's see one by one in detail. First one, menstrual cycle, process of ovulation. The cyclic event that takes place in the rhythmic fashion during the reproductive period of woman's life is called menstrual cycle. In human, the menstrual cycle start at the age of 11 to 13, which makes onset of puberty and is called menarche, and cease means stop, around the age 48 to 50 years of age. This stage is called menopause. The reproductive part marked by characteristics event repeated almost every month. Physiological normal woman 28 days with minor variation. This menstrual cycle consists 4 phases. This menstrual cycle consists 4 phases. First one, menstrual or distractive phase. This will occur in 4 to 5 days. Out of 28 days, first 4 to 5 days. Development of primary follicle in the ovary. Breakdown of uterine endometrial lining leads to bleeding in the uterus. Decrease in progesterone and estrogen in the hormonal changes. Second one, follicular or proliferate phase. This 6 to 13 days. Primary follicles grow to become a fully mature Graafian follicle in ovary. Endometrium regenerate through proliferation in uterus. FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and estrogen increase. These hormones increase. Next, third phase, ovulatory phase, 14th day. This is the fertilizing day. The Graafian follicle rupture and release the ovum egg in the ovary. Increase the endometrial thickness in the uterus. Luteinizing hormone peak, increasing secretion. Fourth phase, luteal or excretory phase. This phase 15 to 28 day. Emptied Graafian follicle develops into corpus luteum. Graafian follicle develop into corpus luteum. The endometrium is prepared for the implantation if fertilization of egg takes place. If fertilization does not occur, corpus luteum degenerate, uterine wall rupture, bleeding start, and unfertilized egg is expelled in the uterus. LH and FSH decrease. Corpus luteum produces progesterone and its level increased by a decline if menstrual bleeding occurs in the hormonal changes. These phases stimulate the event of both ovary and uterus. Changes in the ovary and uterus are induced by pituitary hormone LH and FSH and ovarian hormone estrogen and progesterone. Menstruation is a periodical phenomenon that continues from puberty to menopause. This will happen if the released ovum is not fertilized by the sperm. Lack of menstruation generally indicate pregnancy. Next, fertilization to Fetal development. Fertilization in human is internal and occur in the oviduct of the female genital tract. It takes place usually in the ambula of the fallopian tube, and oocyst is alive for about 24 hours after it is released from the follicle. Fertilization must take place within 24 hours. The sperm enter into the ovum and fuses with it, resulting in the formation of zygote. This process is called fertilization. This process is called fertilization. The fertilized ovum is zygote. The fertilized ovum is zygote. Next, cleavage and formation of blastula. The first cleavage takes within 30 hours after fertilization. Oocyst is a series rapid mitotic divisions. First day, fusion of sperm with the ovum. Immediately it will form a zygote. The zygote will start to mitotic cell division. 2 cells, then 4 cells. It divided many medulla will come. The medulla is formed blastocyte. Outer smaller cells, inner large cells. The next stage is implantation. Next stage is implantation. The blastocyst fertilized egg reaches the uterus and gets implanted in the uterus. The process of attachment of blastocyst to the uterine wall, endometrium, is called implantation. The fertilized egg becomes implanted in about 6 to 7 days after fertilization. Next stage is gastrulation. The transformation of blastula into gastrula and formation of primary germ layer, ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm by rearrangement of the cells is called gastrulation. This takes place after the process of implantation. Next, organogenesis. The establishment of sperm layer, namely ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, initiate to final phase of embryo development. Embryonic development. During the organogenesis, the various organs of the fetus, various organs like eyes, nose, brain, like the organs will development. Fetus are established from the different germ layers, attaining a functional state. Next stage is formation of placenta. The placenta is a disc-shaped structure attached to the uterine wall and is a temporary association between the developing embryo and maternal tissues. It allows the exchange of food material and diffusion of oxygen, excretion of nitrogenous waste and elimination of carbon dioxide. A cord containing blood vessels that connect the placenta with the fetus is called umbilical cord. Next, pregnancy, gestation. It is a time period during which the embryo attains development in the uterus. Normally, gestation period of human lasts for about 28 days, 280 days. During pregnancy, the uterus expands up to 500 times its normal size. Next, pasteurization, childbirth, is a expulsion of young one from the mother's uterus. Expulsion coming out, end of the gestation. Oxytocin from the posterior pituitary stimulate the uterine contractions and provide the force to expel the baby from the uterus, causing birth. Next, lactation. After the birth, the process of milk production after childbirth from the mammary gland of the mother's is called lactation. The first fluid which is released from the mammary gland after the childbirth is called colostrum. Milk production from the alveoli of mammary gland is stimulated by prolactin secreted from the anterior pituitary. The ejection of milk is stimulated by posterior pituitary hormone oxytocin. Milk produced from the breast during first 2 to 3 days after the childbirth is called colostrum. It contains immune substances and provide immunity to the newborn, which is essential for the baby. Non-identical twins. Sometimes ovaries released 2 eggs. Sometimes ovary release 2 eggs, and each is fertilized by a different sperm, resulting non-identical twins. If a single egg is fertilized and then divided into two fetus is called identical twins. After fertilized, the zygote is divided into two fetus is called identical twins. Thank you. Thank you, children.